Welcome all my dear students to Sudharma's physics classroom. We are on the discussion of NCERT exemplar questions. In the previous video, we have already done the discussion of MCQs, multiple choice questions from NCERT exemplar questions. And today we will be discussing the short answer questions from exemplar questions. In the previous video, I explained the importance of practicing the NCERT exemplar questions because these are the score makers of our CBSE board exams. So if you learn this in a smart way, your score will improve. Okay. So let's start with the short answer questions. So answering according to the question is very important. And if you are given a short answer question and if you explain in a paragraph, there is no use for that, right? So we should know how to answer for short answer questions. Short answer questions mean it's for 2 or 3 mark question, right? Long answer questions, it will be a 5 mark question. Okay, so let's try to understand and solve these questions one by one. So it's a continuation of the 18 MCQs we have solved. So the next question is 19th one. A child has drawn an electric circuit to study Ohm's law as shown in figure. His teacher told that the circuit diagram needs a correction. Study the circuit diagram and redraw it after making all corrections. So we have to look at this diagram 12.6. So what are the drawbacks of this diagram? So first of all, when you check any diagram, we have to check whether the voltmeter and ammeter are connected properly, right? So we know that voltmeter has to be connected in parallel and ammeter has to be connected in series. Is that done in a correct way? Observe this diagram. See, here they have connected the voltmeter in series and ammeter in parallel. That is one mistake. Another thing, voltmeter, they didn't show any polarity. First of all, they didn't connect it properly. They didn't show any polarity. Polarity is important. Next thing we have to check is about the cell or the battery. So we have to connect positive, negative in that series, right? Observe here. Here you can see 2 positives are connected together, right? That's again wrong. So we have already found out 3 mistakes and definitely this is a 2 mark question. Minimum we can expect 4 valid points, right? Half mark each. So 3 points found out. Now let's see if there any other mistake in the diagram. You can see here Y and Y represented, right? At the end of these resistors, Y and Y shown. Y and Y, that means Y and Y represents the same position, right? So resistors we have to represent AB or XY. Whichever name you are giving, but both the ends you have to give different names. Okay, so let's try to redraw the diagram. So let me start from the battery. Okay. So battery is positive, negative. I just start from left side. Positive, negative, positive, negative, 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 positive, negative, positive, negative, positive, negative, positive. Okay, so this should be the connection. Now from here we have the key connected and we have the resistor connected. So resistor we have to mark as XY. You can give any name. It's okay, but make sure they are different letters, okay? Because we have to represent 2 separate points. Now, along this resistor, we have to connect the voltmeter in parallel. So, between X and Y, we are connecting the voltmeter. So, here we have the negative of the voltmeter. Here we have the positive because negative, positive, right? Now, ammeter has to be connected in series. This is our ammeter. So ammeter comes in series and here we have the positive of the ammeter and here we have the negative of the ammeter. Now as per this diagram I have drawn, the ammeter is here and here we have negative and positive, and we know that the direction of current is from positive to negative, right? So this is the way we have to mark the direction of current. Now the diagram is perfect. So this is the answer for question 19. Now let's do question number 20. So a child has drawn the electric circuit. The 20th question is 3 2-ohm resistors A, B and C are connected as shown in figure 12.7. Each of them dissipates energy and can withstand a maximum power of 18 watt without melting. Okay. Find the maximum current that can flow through the three resistors. Three 2 ohm resistors A, B and C. They are equal resistors. They are connected according to this figure 12.7. Each of them dissipates energy and can withstand a maximum power of 18 watt. So what is the maximum current that can flow through the three resistors? See, understand the difference here. These two and this two, they are connected in parallel, and the other two resistor, right, that resistance A is connected in series. So when it can withstand the maximum power of 18 watt, let's see what is the current. We have the relation between power, current and resistance. P equals I square R. I am choosing this equation because they are asking about current and resistance is given, and they are not provided any potential difference, right? So I am going to calculate by the maximum power it can withstand how much current can be flown through this resistor A. Okay, that comes in series. So from this equation I can write I square is equal to P divided by R, or I is equal to square root of P divided by R. So what is that value? Square root of P is 18 and R is 2 ohm. So 18 by 2 is 9, square root of 9, you will get it as 3 ampere. So current flowing through A, we have calculated the current flowing through A as 3 ampere. I am denoting that as IA. Okay. So 1 ampere flows through this resistance A. Okay, I have taken the maximum power it can withstand. So maximum current which can flow through the first resistor is 3 ampere. Now when this 3 ampere goes to that B and C, there we have equal resistors, right? So we can understand that the current will split equally. So current in B, current in C, they will be equal because they are equal resistors. If they are not equal, we will not get the same amount of current. Okay. So IB equals IC, that is equal to IA divided by 2. Okay. So what is IA? 3 ampere divided by 2. So current through B and C, that is going to be 1.5 amperes. Hope you understood the solution. Now going to the 21st one. Should the resistance of an ammeter be low or high? Give reason. Ammeter resistance. Immediately we have to understand that ammeter is a current measuring device. A current measuring device has to allow the whole current to pass through it. If the complete current has to pass through it, then the resistance should be very low resistance. Okay, it should be low resistance, and the reason is ammeter is a current measuring device. Okay, the complete current has to flow through the ammeter, so we expect a very low resistance for the ammeter. Okay, so hope you understood the solution for these 3 questions. Now coming to the next one. Draw a circuit diagram of an electric circuit containing a cell, a key, an ammeter, a resistor 2 ohm in series with a combination of 2 resistors 4 ohm each in parallel and a voltmeter across the parallel combination. Will the potential difference across the 2 ohm resistor be same as that across the parallel combination of 4 ohm resistors? Give reason. So let's read the question once again. Draw a circuit diagram of an electric circuit containing a cell. A cell, okay? We are supposed to draw only a single unit. It's a cell. Okay? A key and an ammeter. Okay? So let me just draw an ammeter. Let me see, that doesn't matter wherever you connect the key, okay? And a resistor of 2 ohm in series with a combination of 2 resistors 4 ohm each in parallel and a voltmeter. Okay, so 2 ohm should be series. 2 ohm is in series with a combination of 2 4 ohm resistors in parallel. Okay, and that voltmeter is also in parallel. So voltmeter can be connected here. This is our voltmeter. I'll put the polarity once I finish the diagram. So observe here, we have 2 ohm and 2 4 ohm resistors, 4 ohm and 4 ohm connected in parallel. They are connected in series with a 2 ohm resistor, and a voltmeter is connected in parallel. Yeah, the circuit is done. Now we have to check the polarities. This is positive. From the other side we have the negative polarity. Here we have positive and here we have negative. Okay, current flows from positive to negative. So this is the direction of current. Okay. Now there is another question along with that. Will the potential difference across the 2 ohm resistor same as that across the parallel combination of 4 ohm resistor? Give reason. See, here this 4 ohm resistors connected in parallel. 2 4 ohm resistors are there. So they together give a resistance of 2 ohm. Right? So Rp is equal to 4 into 4 divided by 4 plus 4. Or we can use the shortcut formula R by N. So this is 16 divided by 8. That's going to be 2 ohm. That means the parallel combination is also 2 ohm. So the effective resistance of this parallel combination is 2 ohm. Here we have another 2 ohm. That means they are equal resistors, right? Even though they are 4 ohms connected in parallel, but the total resistance is 2 ohm itself. So the potential difference will be equally divided among 2 ohm and this combination 2 ohm. So what is the question once again? Will the potential difference across the 2 ohm resistor be same as that across the parallel combination of 4 ohm resistors? Yes, total resistance is same. So the potential difference is going to be the same. Okay. Now let's move on to the next one. How does the use of fuse wire protect electrical appliances? So in a short answer question, we have to mention, I'll just give you the keywords for this answer. Okay. So use of a fuse wire works on Joule's heating. Okay. Fuse wire works on heating effect of electric current. This is important. Heating effect. It works based on heating effect of electric current. And fuse wire will have high resistance and low melting point and high resistance. So whenever the current exceeds the specified value of current which can be flown through the fuse wire melts. It melts and break the circuit. The circuit will become open. Then what happens? Then there will not be any current flowing through the circuit and the device will be protected. Okay, so it's mandatory that the important word, the fuse wire works on heating effect of electric current and the characteristic of fuse wire and what happens if excess current flows through the device. All these points you have to highlight there. Okay. 24th question. What is electrical resistivity? In a series electrical circuit comprising a resistor made up of a metallic wire, the ammeter reads 5 ampere. The reading of the ammeter decreases to half when the length of the wire is doubled. Why? What is electrical resistivity? We have the formula R is equal to rho L divided by A, right? Resistance is directly proportional to length and inversely proportional to area of cross section, right? So from this equation we can write rho is equal to RA divided by L. So if area of cross section is equal to 1 meter square and length is equal to 1 meter, then we get the relation rho is equal to R, right? So we can say that electrical resistivity is a characteristic of a material. Okay, it's a characteristic of different materials and it is numerically equal to the resistance of a conductor whose length is 1 meter and area is 1 meter square. That is the explanation for what is electrical resistivity. You can include the unit of resistivity also. Unit of resistivity is ohm meter. Okay. Now coming to the question, the numerical. In a series electrical circuit comprising a resistor made up of metallic wire, the ammeter reads 5 ampere. Okay. So current reading is 5 ampere. The reading of the ammeter decreases to half when the length of the wire is doubled. So length of the wire doubled means the new length L dash, right? So here we know that length and resistance are directly proportional. Length of the wire is doubled means new length L dash is equal to 2L. Length is increasing, right? So what happens to the resistance? R will be equal to rho into 2L divided by A. This is equal to 2 times rho L divided by A. What is rho L by A? Rho L by A is resistance, right? So I can say that this is R dash, the new resistance R dash. That's equal to rho into 2L by A. 2 I have taken outside. 2 times rho L by A, that is nothing but 2 times R. So new resistance R dash is equal to 2 times R. Now from Ohm's law we have V equals IR, right? Or I is equal to V divided by R, okay? Or the relation between current and resistance is inverse relation. So I is equal to V by R and new current I dash is equal to V divided by R dash. That's equal to V divided by 2R. That's nothing but 1 by 2 of V by R. 1 by 2 of V by R. V by R is I, so half of the current. So what is the question here? The reading of the ammeter decreases to half, right? That means current, reading of the ammeter decreases to half means what? Current will be decreasing to half. So this is how we can prove it mathematically. So once again I'll explain. Resistance equal to rho into L by A. The new resistance when the length is doubled is length becomes twice the actual length. So the resistance will become 2 times the actual resistance. Since current and resistance are inversely proportional, when resistance doubles, current will decrease to half. Okay, it's very simple question. I hope all the questions are done from there. Now, 25th one. What is a commercial unit of electrical energy? Represent it in terms of joules. This is a repeated question. What is commercial unit of electricity? Kilowatt hour. And what is the relation between kilowatt hour and joule? 1 kilowatt hour is equal to 3.6 into 10 power 6 joules. This is the relation between commercial unit of electricity and SI unit of electricity. Okay. Now, a current of 1 ampere flows in a series circuit containing an electric lamp and a conductor of 5 ohm when connected to a 10 volt battery. Calculate the resistance of the electric lamp. Now, if a resistance of 10 ohm is connected in parallel with this series combination, what change, if any, okay, in current flowing through 5 ohm conductor and potential difference across the lamp will take place? Give reason. So it's a big question. So let's break it into small steps and do it. Okay. So a current of 1 ampere flows in a series circuit containing electric lamp. So lamp, how do you represent? This is electric lamp. And a conductor of 5 ohm. So that can be represented by a resistor symbol. It is connected to a 10 volt battery. Done? Okay. So this is 10 volt and this is 5 ohm and the resistance, the lamp R, resistance of the lamp can be written as R. Now calculate the resistance of the electric lamp. That is what we have to calculate now. So current is given as I is equal to 1 ampere as per the question. 1 ampere current flows, right? So I is equal to 1 ampere. Then the extra resistance, right? The conductor is equal to 5 ohm and voltage is V is equal to 10 volt. So R series, this lamp and the external conductor is connected in series. So RS is equal to R divided R plus 5. R1 plus R2. R plus 5. So total current I is equal to V divided by RS. So I, what is I? 1 ampere is equal to V is 10 divided by R plus S. Taking this R plus S to the left hand side, I get R plus S is equal to 10 and R plus 5 is equal to 10, and R is equal to 10 minus 5, that is equal to 5 ohm. Okay, once again, we have R series is equal to R plus 5. Total current is given as 1 ampere, that is equal to V by Rs. 1 is equal to 10 by R plus 5. R plus 5 is equal to 10. R is equal to 10 minus 5, that is equal to 5 ohm. Okay. So resistance of the lamp is calculated as 5 ohms. So this is part A. Now let's do part B. If a resistance of 10 ohm is connected in parallel with the series combination, what change in current flowing through the 5 ohm conductor and potential difference across the lamp will take place? Give reason. So let's redraw this diagram. Now we have the resistance of the lamp, that is 5 ohm. It is equivalent to 5 ohm, and already we have a 5 ohm conductor here, and we have the battery that is 10 volt. This is 10 volt, and they're asking if we are connecting a 10 ohm in parallel. We are going to connect a 10 ohm in parallel to this circuit. Will there be any change in the potential difference and current, right? So what happens now? If we have 5 ohm and 5 ohm, they make 10 ohm together. So again, 10 and 10 connected in parallel. When 10 and 10 connected in parallel, what happens? The total resistance is going to be 5 ohm itself, right? So total resistance of the new circuit when a 10 ohm connected in parallel, that will give you 5 ohms. Now, what is the question here? If a 10 ohm is connected in parallel with the series combination, what change, if any? Okay, so we have to think that way. In current flowing through 5 ohm conductor and potential difference across the lamp will take place. So here we have 10 ohm, here also we have 10 ohm. Potential difference will be the same through both the combinations here because it is in parallel combination. Okay, what happens to the current? They are equal resistors, even though it is a combination of two 5 ohms, but together it makes 10 ohm. So the same current will be flowing through 10 ohm and same current will be flowing through this 5 and 5 ohm also. Okay, so there will not be any change, no change in potential difference and current, because it is the same. See, 5 and 5 connected in series, that makes 10 ohm. Another 10 ohm is connected in parallel. So there is no change going to happen in the potential difference across the lamp and the current through the 5 ohm resistor. Okay, now coming to the 27th question. Why is parallel arrangement used in domestic wiring? Why we have to use parallel connection in domestic wiring? See, with this example itself, we can understand why a parallel connection is preferred. See, in a parallel connection, voltage will be the same for all the devices. We can operate the device using individual switches. If you connect them in series, if you switch on one of the circuits, everything in the circuit will start working. That is not expected in a household connection, right? We have to work individual appliances using individual plug points, right? And if it is connected in parallel, all the devices will be getting the required amount of current because they have the required amount of voltage. Okay, so that is why parallel arrangement is used in domestic wiring. Coming to the last question of this short answer series. B1, B2 and B3 are 3 identical filaments connected as shown in figure. When all the 3 bulbs glow, a current of 3 ampere is recorded by the ammeter A. We have to read between the lines now. B1, B2 and B3 are 3 identical bulbs. Identical bulb means what? They will have same resistance. They will have all the specifications same. Okay. When all the 3 bulbs glow, a current of 3 ampere is recorded by the ammeter A. Where is the ammeter A? Here. That ammeter shows the complete current flowing through the circuit. And observe the diagram carefully. We have A1, A2 and A3. They are the ammeters connected across B1, B2 and B3 respectively. So when everything is glowing, then ammeter shows 3 amperes. Now what is the next question here, what happens to the glow of the other bulbs when the bulb B1 gets fused? This is an extension to the answer I have told you about the parallel combination. What happens to the glow of the other two bulbs when the bulb B1 gets fused? When B1 gets fused, it is not going to affect the other bulbs B2 and B3. Okay, so the glow or the glow of B2 and B3 remains same. What is the reason? B1, B2, B3 are connected in parallel, so the damage on one of the instruments will not affect the working of the other instruments. This is the advantage of parallel circuit, and that is why we are preferring, that is one of the reasons we are preferring parallel connection in domestic wiring. Second one, what happens to the reading of A1, A2 and A3 and A when the bulb B2 gets fused? When B2 gets fused, what happens? There is no current flowing through the bulb B2. So they are all identical, right? When they are all identical, there were 3. Now the current will be divided into 2, right? So A1, B2 is getting fused, right? B2 is getting fused means there is no current in the ammeter 2. A1 will have 1 ampere. A2 will have 0 amperes because A2 is the ammeter connected to the bulb B2. And A3 will have 1 ampere. And A will give you 2 amperes because initially when all of them were glowing, it was giving 3 amperes. Now there is one broken, right? So there is no splitting happening there through B2. So A1 will be given 1 ampere, A2 will be given 1 ampere, and A will be showing 2 amperes because 1 and 1 together. The current through B2 is not there now. Okay. Now part 3. How much power is dissipated in the circuit when all the 3 bulbs glow together? So we have voltage given here. V is equal to 4.5 volt and current when all the 3 bulbs glow together is given as 3 amperes. So we have the equation P equals VI. So V is 4.5 volt and current is 3 ampere. So you will be getting 13.5 watts. The unit of power is watt. Okay. So hope you understood all these solutions. And the short answer questions of NCERT exemplar questions are completely done here. So we have covered short answer questions and multiple choice questions. And the remaining set is the long answer question, which comes under the 5-mark distribution questions. Okay. So once it is done, the exemplar questions will be completely discussed. And this is the best way to score good marks in our board exam. Okay, so if you check the previous year question papers, you will understand that. So make sure you practice this and you are thorough with all these questions. Okay, so thank you for watching this video and I hope it is helpful for you. And in the coming video, I'll be coming with NCERT exemplar question long answer. And if you are watching this video for the first time, please subscribe to the channel and click the bell icon for more updates on the sessions. Okay, so see you soon with the NCERT exemplar long answer questions. Thank you and bye.